Hello on YouTube, on Twitch. Welcome to another episode of my HOI4 Let's Play series. This is Northstar. I hope you're well, taking care of each other and being kind to yourselves. For those new to my channel, welcome returning viewers, welcome back. If you haven't, you can check out my YouTube channel page. Getting the chat up. You guys missed a nice little, very factual report about the German heavy tanks and how they had bad transmissions by, well, Soviet spies. They actually had an extensive spy network in Germany. The German communists realized how evil Nazis were and worked to feed intelligence to the Soviet Union. Although the Soviets could be harsh taskmasters, it's funny because historians often bark up the wrong tree. They look at, you know, the nonsense the Nazis said about communist whatever plots, and the Nazis had the wrong idea, they're looking in the wrong places, or they dismiss it all as fantasy. But apparently, I was reading this book, If We Should Burn, which is actually written by a guy who seems to be a socialist with anarchist leanings. He talks about the history of this organization some, and also there was a thing I was an author about a book about the German communist resistance to Hitler. It is really the only real resistance, and capitalist historians often write it out of the history books because it's inconvenient, because the Social Democratic Party, the capitalist left in Germany, just gladly capitulated to Nazis. They actually encouraged their members to cooperate with the new order, and the German right capitalists, the conservatives, actually helped put Hitler in power in the first place. Hitler lost elections, and then Hindenburg, his people, put him in power anyways. He had a plurality, but he did not win. And you know, Germany was, there was some contention over forming a government. Anyways, I'm here. As Denmark. I was going to be playing as them. Other things that AI did, they wasted a ton of political power. They didn't run this when they could have. Instead of preferring to coordinate strikes, you can only do it a couple times. It looks like they did it once. And apparently there's a focus earlier that gave them one off-map military factory before they capitulated. And they ran it once, they could have run it a second time. For that matter, they could have funneled resources to the Danish brigades. Too late for that, unless I want. I also tested what happened if I play as Denmark don't assert Danish independence. Basically, when these guys win, I just become a puppet of a member of North American Alliance, Occitania, usually. So I become a French puppet, supervised state, and I have to go through the process all over again of getting independence. And, you know, it forces me democratic and forces me to sit out most of anything that happens. The only silver lining of that is typically when this war is over, I get Jutland back. The Austro-Hungarians tend to annex southern Jutland, though. And as an Occitanian puppet, they tend to occupy it and give it control of it to me. So I do get control of that state. But completely unable, hands tied, and unable to do anything in that scenario. Anyways, I was setting this up some. Now, cancel that. 222, that's not a number I like. If any of you get the reference, there's a movie called 222. I already organized the Army, the Navy, the Air Force to my liking, so that less overwhelming stuff. Well, I did give Denmark some political power to make up for them wasting it, including having to undo this stupid closed economy, which, the way the AI does things, it's not terrible. I need to go to limit exports. Once I get rid of him, though, trade wall costs go down, so I should wait a day. One of the first things I'll want to do is get rid of the closed economy. Also, I'm going to want to wait this disappears, so I'm going to want to get at least 30 days this, and I also tested what goes on with this. You ask weapons deliveries. If you get it, you get war support. 2.5% war support each time, and some weapons from the British. You just need to have less than 5,000 weapons in your stockpile. Easy enough way here is just to put it up for sale in the market. Now you say, what market? Closed economy? Actually, you have market access with one country, and that's your puppet master, the Norwegian People's Republic. So I'm, putting it all in warehouses saying, hey, Norway, I know you're fighting desperately. Here's some rifles. You want it? Except it's not free, and so I wish I could offer them subsidies or something. Could have, I guess. Well, I don't think I can even lend lease these guys. Oh, I could have. Lend lease them with equipment if it was earlier, but they're just going to get capitulated. Maybe it's in warehouses in Bergen, but this is not Norwegian property. You can't have it, and I respect that somehow. Anyways, I'm gonna do. Things are gonna start going awry. But the AI doesn't instantly mess things up always. Like in the 1 hour that Syria was under AI control, they did nothing. I started on that because if the AI has control, I actually struggled to one day, but there isn't one day. It's weird because it has too much progress, apparently. I tried. There's just no way that the AI needs to. I think I need to control Syria for an hour. I can go back to the save if this doesn't work or if it causes weird stuff. Oh. No, that's going to be issue. They immediately. It only takes them an hour to do that? And they already removed, changed. Gah! Stupid AI, they mess everything up. You know what? Whatever. Syria wants to not get its electronics research. It's going to become a US puppet anyways. What are we, either a US supervised state or forced ideology, but they'll still join the North American Alliance and they'll join this push into the Central Powers. Now, to compensate for my strengthening myself a little with this, I went around and because I want a world where if I sit and nothing happens, there's a chance that the outcome isn't predetermined or just US victory. Viewers. I went and gave some command power to like the Soviets and stuff, and even did a few things that the Orleanist French and the British manage themselves better. So everyone else is a little bit bigger, more powerful. I give them some command power for free because they tend to not hire generals and max out and waste their command power income. Had Turkey start in order to do resource extractions as to subsidize an iron steel factory, but the AI never does any of their industrial projects decisions as Turkey ever, even though they need that one to then do resource extraction things, which they need because they need steel because the world currently there's not enough steel to go around. Because, well, I mean, the only nation that has large amounts of steel that's not being used is the United States. There's bits and pieces everywhere else. Even the Rhenish Republic is. Nope, I take that back. Even the United States steel is exhausted at this point. Did they go down to limited exports or something? They did. Yeah, there's not enough steel. Some nations have a surplus, but they're not exporting it. So Turkey needs to produce its own asset. The Soviets take their decision that they never do. So I guess the only reason these decisions are useful is for like multiplayer, because AI will never do it, where they agree to fund the industry factories. I suppose if you're playing as the Soviets and the Turks approach you, you could decide to from the Civ, where you do it and it rolls the dice and how many build slots and factories they get. But Turkey can eventually fill all their build slots And it's not just limited to their cores. I don't even think if they occupy states, like they might be able to even get these up to 25 someday. I don't know. Fine. Well, my task here is to sit and wait. War support economy. I should. Oh, they didn't. Let's cancel this before the day ticks over. I will switch to Norway because they will stupidly, even though they're about to be conquered, still decide, hey, let's go to war with Denmark over it trying to assert its independence. As if that was a smart decision. Not. 6 days to do this. And there's a cooldown on this. And actually, it's a 30-day cooldown, so I could wait 1 day, then do this, and that would give me a time to, after the cooldown, do it again. And after that cooldown, do it again. Because it'd be 59 days. 3 chances. That's probably enough for the British to say yes, at least once. This will give me 10% war support. Which will get me up to 95%. Or, yeah, no, I can do 3 industrial land integrations right now. Well, anyways, so I'll sit for a little while and watch how things are going here, because I can get unlimited war support as long as I'm a puppet and have that special puppet tree. I'm not sure if I get independence and then become a puppet again if I do that. It's only because the British agreed to help me. Alright. Boom. So you get to watch Norway, well, work on this, improving their national spirit. They're just going to get conquered. And then maybe they'll do the research slot. Not much to be said or done, but wait. I'm training my aircraft. I've reassigned around my generals here. Where's the music? Come on. Changing course. Oh, yeah, I was going to rearrange these guys. I named them based not where they are, but where I want them to be. So, 1st and 2nd Odense divisions will guard Odense. How long does it take to... 11 hours. Cool. Quick, you know, with the rails. 1st and 2nd Copenhagen. We'll guard Copenhagen. Because this is an urban province, it should be possible to defend it with these guys. 4 infantry and engineer, but they should do fine. They're not going to suffer any crits if either a naval invasion or creates a straits penalty into a city. Yeah, they'll be fine. That's even without coastal forts or land forts. I think it's land forts against... No, it's coastal against strait crossing, actually. But, pretty sure. I forget which rides the buffs. I probably can't afford to mess with forts. The Faroes division is, of course, in Faroes. These guys in Bornholm. Oh yeah, and they're named the 3rd Odense, but they're really just a reserve south of Odense. This is the Roskilde division, because they were going to go to Roskilde here. The idea being if the AI decide to naval invade one of the ports, they usually land troops in the adjacent province. This will ensure there's troops in that. These little islands, I can't afford to the divisions defend. But really, I'm only at war right now with the Soviets. Since I'm also going to have Norway not fight me about independence when they're going to get conquered anyways. Do they want me to be forced to capitalism, or would they rather have a independent, Marxist state survive? Obviously the latter. So, he's even a conciliatory socialist. Olav Sheflo, so he wouldn't be some super hardliner. You must remain our puppet. The Norwegian protector of Denmark survives if they fight me on it. Instead, a non-aligned government takes power in Denmark. Well, yeah, also, I could have just relied on this drift sum instead of constantly doing strikes. And that non-aligned power is, not communist. Now, for limited time, I get free manpower a week, 1,000 a week, but then it's gone after a year, and I probably can't even put communist out soon. And it probably deters me from doing this guy, where, you know, the non-aligned drift to get in the way of flipping communist again, whereas I can do it pretty much as soon as I don't have more important things to do with my political power. What should I do? I need to improve stability, and my population is so tiny right now. No grow. Alright, I'm getting a little bit of steel from Karelia. I also rearranged all this stuff. The artillery are reasonably high priority. At least the advanced artillery. Fighters. Yeah, I definitely need aircraft. The AI is wicked overproduced rifles. The only silver line to that is funding for the infantry equipment manufacturer, but and when they get the support weapons, they will become level 6. Get another trait point. I guess heavy anti-armor ammunition. Armor-piercing rounds. Could do a lot of focus. Probably at least stupidly they did bolt-action rifles before, whatever. Probably grab, you know, this and anti-vehicle landmines and this also gives some heart attack and piercing. Not much. Really. Right through. This is 25% piercing, 5% hard, 10% hard, 25. They make the infantry a little more capable of damaging tanks and armored vehicles directly. I really need to invest heavily in aircraft. But yeah, massive stockpile of just rifles. What am I even going to do with this? Even once I open up to the world market, most of these are never going to sell. They can be used as training stuff, though it's wasteful as heck. I'd rather use older stuff for training, stuff to grind into army XP very slowly. I don't have much manpower to do it with either. So I had this all planned out mentally, and then just, you know, no plan survives contact with enemy, or something like that. Let's see. After construction 5, I probably want to go right to the infantry equipment 3 so I can actually get useful rifles. Oh yeah, the also AI did this, which is like bleh. If you'd rather have growth and retention, if you're gonna not base production, it's retention. If I'm gonna expand ever, like maybe into Germany, there's all these bits. Poland's losing, but the Turks are really struggling here against Lebanon, and the Austrians are really struggling here against the British Communist Alternative and anti-fascist bloc troops here. North American Alliance troops too. It's hard to say what'll happen, and so a policy of neutrality is what I want. It can be a neutral communist country for a while and see which way the wind blows. Norwegian People's Republic demands conscripts. We must do our master's bidding, give them manpower, or just say no. Manpower that's going to probably just disappear into the... Oh shoot, these guys, I thought I put them on strategic redeployment. Are they not? Oh, because the combat started there, they can't. Alright. They can train in place for a bit. Or even sit here with the reserves, the Roskill division. I hear that song way too many times. Yeah, so I think they have enough manpower that they're not going to burn through that before they get conquered. I don't actually want to give them that. The only thing it does if I say no, besides annoy them, which That's not great. But I'm not sure. I mean, they're going to be conquered. Now, the thing is, the capitalist Norway has high communism support and low stability. That's pretty decent, and they're improving worker conditions. I was going to say it might be possible to set up a communist coup there eventually. I think on a minor... Let's see, I think it has to be lower than 35% stability when at war. I would have to do some serious propaganda. Yeah, they're actually stable enough. They'll have their own thing going, but I don't know if the communist civil war breaks out later because that communism drift. I don't know. It recreates these guys. Probably not. Anyways, I should probably refuse the setting the conscripts. Or delay decision. I thought it would help them hold out longer. I'd definitely say yes, but they can replace their losses. It's Syria that needs more conscripts. Not sure what happens at manpower when they get it either. Does it? 17 point. Probably just gets added to the state of Vestlandet, which means it goes right to the capitalist Norwegians and they conquer that. These guys are also scraping the barrel. Same recruitable batch. Yeah, so then it would just essentially be giving troops to the enemy. I think they're only replacing us because I saw a decision as them earlier, so that was kind of dumb. Maybe I should give them that. I think they can actually hold out quite a while, longer than might seem. Still, affect their decision making, except possibly if they have more manpower leading to a stupid attack. Where are these guys? Oh, they just arrived. So I didn't know this, but there was a secret deal signed with the Commune of Anglia. So if I were to finish, the AI did this focus, I found this by checking earlier, like by fast forwarding through. Finish that focus and Norway says no, Norwegian People's Republic. Then they're supposed to let me into their faction, the British Communist Alternative. And if they do, I get 5% war support. I forget if... I think I do. I get it either way, but they can betray you and say no. Anyways, that would... And if I have to fight them, I remain at war with the Central Powers. If I get independence and peacefully, then I just become... It white pieces out from the Central Powers, and I can sit and watch. Otherwise, I have no choice but to make sure they lose. Which, you know, it's even possible they might win. I don't have enough weight to throw around as Norway to necessarily... 51 factories, it's not nothing, but... I should probably queue up some more stuff. These, because they can retain some of their production and efficiency, they'll swap to infantry equipment 3. It's a massive stockpile. 1 anti-tank, 1 anti-air battery. It's a really old anti-air guns. Wish I could sell it all, but probably not. 2 trucks, 3 artillery. It's just, I've been doing this for way too long. Should probably start out one of these. Not gonna merge it with other line because if you have retention, you want to be able to swap. Like, I don't want to swap 2 factories, just 1. You know. It competes for aluminum and steel. Oh yeah, 4.4K. You can see the insane amount of support equipment, which is like, yeah, it's like that's around enough to equip 100 divisions. almost 1 million men worth of support equipment there. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I could probably put the fighters ahead of that. And I don't need more trucks. There's also huge. So yeah, those are always things to compete with. So just a second fighter production line. Maybe even a, third. This is multi-role aircraft designer. Interesting. They focused on light airframes. That's probably good. Definitely can't afford to be messing with the mediums. I think it's the light air MIO. Oh, no, there's a naval aircraft designer too. Specifically for nav, but probably bomber specialization. Oh yeah, they've been going People's Army, right side mass mobilization. This gets some serious reinforce rate and manpower. Probably need that to fight any war with my tiny. It's almost as much core manpower as Syria had, and more once I get Jutland back. Southern Jutland, fully. It's not very populous, but in Austria-Hungary, they'll get it, but they'll probably juggle around occupation with their allies, so it's not like they'll even hold on it long enough to create an occupation, collaboration government. Probably not. Recovery, reinforce, organization, numbers, and then finally guerrilla tactics, which are really good. Although you can get those in the bottom of left-sided mobile warfare, which is probably at some point I'll swap to mobile warfare when I've got the whole tree done. Mountaineers, if I'm doing Mountaineers for special forces. Although I'd probably be better off with Marines. It's easier to grind up a ton of Navy XP. Develop a Navy. And then save up when I'm about to hit the Army XP cap, swap into mobile warfare and start going down. That'll still only get me to mass motorization pretty much. Well, if I have a theorist, well, that'll be halfway this. And once I get back to non-discriminatory conscription, I'll have the same recruitable population factors of 4, and then I'll be able to start expanding the army again. For a while, I'll be at 0 manpower. The advantage of this tree is you get better tactics like elastic defense. Not the same reinforce rate, but bonuses to armor, or with the mobile infantry. Get breakthrough though. You don't grab the blitzkrieg instead. So tanks or motorized is really the question. What do you want to buff? Motorized and mechanized infantry organization plus 15%. It's a lot more motorized. It's unlikely I'll have enough industry for a lot of tanks. I'll probably be swapping to just motorized and some mechanized spam. It's Denmark. And lots of aircraft. Aircraft are far more efficient. In a way, they can cover a lot more ground instead of, if you were only fighting in a battle in one place, you'd be better off with ground troops, like a single bottleneck or 2, maybe. Entrances to Denmark here, but if you're fighting a lot of places, your aircraft can move around between the fronts. Be a lot of places at once, which makes them effectively, you can just have much less equipped ground divisions and have the aircraft wherever the fights are. Of course, if you're being engaged everywhere at the front at once, your aircraft can't be everywhere, so kind of depends on whether it's a wide or a narrow front. If it's too wide, the aircraft will be somewhat overwhelmed. Like if you're fighting along the entire eastern front, you want to focus on ground units. Fighting a couple bottlenecks, ground units again. But somewhere in the middle is where the aircraft really shine. Like invading Poland is Germany or something. Dive bombers. Norway even gets this guy. Air doctrine cost ground attack bonus. They have expand U-bots but net, so they had started to expand their navy before they were puppeted. That first thing gives me, I think it's a sub research bonus. Yep, that'd be good. So the garbage Rhoda class subs, they're even worse than these. Cost 70 to retrofit on a 440, not worth it. To turn these 341 to retrofit them with better engines. 431 to throw in better yeah, it's not worth it. Just probably just let these garbage subs do their thing. I've got 5 of these subs there. Put these less experienced, which has one of the better subs to do exercises here in the fjords where they can't really be discovered easy if the enemy is hunting for them. I haven't seen any enemy convoys in a while. That would be central power convoys. They could trade by sea, but they won't, I guess, so... Where is their stuff to hunt while I'm still at war? Or I peace out? I don't see anything. Alright. Convoy rating. Nope. Just go to train. Guess this guy's being trained up. I looked at his stats, traits and stuff. He can make a decent leader of the main fleet, especially once he gets another skill level and can take loading drill master. Search pattern expert. This is garbage. You know, where's destroyer cruiser leader? Why the AI take this or do you start with it? I don't know. But media personality, he has the pride of the fleet. He's in charge of it. Yeah, he can basically be a really good admiral. Let's show the admirals. There is one bold guy who's also, for some stupid reason, concealment expert. The AI chooses the worst traits. This guy, Christian Evers, chief engineer, makes him pretty good in charge of subs, because, you know, crits are how they often get sunk. These are the right traits for sub hunting. I mean, for hunting as subs. And this guy, very resistant to crits. Green water expert too. Ashmar. I haven't seen anyone try and sink any of my ships. Yeah, second guys, and I'll pause this for YouTube while I fix some Navy stuff. Really, I just need a moment to think. Right. So this guy will actually be... Call it hold, that's what the AI calls it. If they ever take over, they won't rename it. Probably. He's gonna be in charge of the strike force. If the subs are somehow engaged, I'd want them to be under a guy with Silent Hunter, probably. So this is not hold, this is sub forces. Or yep. And really at this point they're just both sub-training forces. 1 was, yeah, the more inexperienced ships. 2 was the more experienced. Normally I'd want the naming the other way around, but... I'll just merge them. Why not? How do I merge? Merge the... Cool. And I don't need the number in there anymore. Yeah. They were engaged, they'd all be together. I've split off enabled, so... I'm going to turn the priority to medium. Because they're mostly just doing exercises. And getting me Navy XP. Got integrated designers because I need to run some bunch of techs. And produce more modern ships. Yeah, I have the luxury of swapping around spirits, thinking very long term here because Denmark won't be ready to go to war for ages and ages and ages. Probably start with fire control. Damage control methods. Which we can put some Navy XP into. Since reduced chance of crits if there's fleet somehow ambushed. And use that to grow that miles and then actual components and then swap something that, I don't know, better holes of some sort or another. You can do destroyers without any particular doctrine. For everything else, any other stuff you need a particular tree. So John and Cole can do some destroyers. Run up the destroyer line, which also, it's not just destroyers, it's destroyers and depth charges and sonar. They're all considered under Dronicle, which is nice. But that's not what this slot's being used for. I need to get using modern assault rifles. Green combat. And there, 0.109 Navy XP a day. It's like half of a specialist level admiral. Of course, it consumes fuel a little fast. Almost, actually slightly slower than I produce it, so I should slowly be acquiring fuel. It's just calculating wrong. Do I need the early cruiser? Nobody is trying to raid me right now. No, I'm gonna have these guys start exercising at this point. Them too. Getting oil from the non-existent country of Venezuela, though there is actually a route to where Venezuela should be in non-existent Yugoslavia. Aluminum doesn't remove any map resources, so I guess it gets around the crunch. Even aluminum is starting to run out. Oil will be the last resource to really run out, but I can't trade with certain nations unless, you know, peace, and they can be bought by wars. Like, I actually can't get through the Danish belts right now because the two sides of it are, it's a contested sea zone. Where is the stupid... There we go. Even though I'm not at war with any of them. Northern National versus North American Alliance. I guess I sort of count as North American, Northern International, sort of. So, yeah. Free State of Thuringen. Where is that? Oh, they're gonna flip communist very easily, or they're very close to. I could send a spy. That should probably be one of my first things that I do, is trying to flip countries communist that are very, very close like that. People never bother. I've got an opportunity, golden opportunity. Thuringen is close. There's also Singapore is very high communist support. Yeah. But that's not outside the world. Should try and flip Thuringen communist. Make it so when the elections roll around, the communists win. They have Why We Fight, which means they can actually form... No, they need ideological analysis to form a faction, don't they? Oh, if we don't have neutral foreign policy, be able to create a faction. Yeah. So then I could maybe form a faction with them. Could be useful someday. Bavaria also has relatively high communist support. Maybe roll into one of these kingdoms, Westphalia or something. Try and gobble up the German states. The problem is the US will guarantee even win at war in this version of the game. Can't even get around it. Used to be when the major's at war, they won't guarantee and you can gobble up territory. Not anymore. Not anymore. Still waiting to hear back from the British about those weapons. It's easier to form the Kalmar Union when the cores of Norway and Sweden are less. Still, they're all in the US faction, so it's pretty much impossible. These guys keep fighting each other and damaging my infrastructure annoyingly. I had to put a factory in repair just because it was hurting my steel production. The US... Can I take away their military access? Probably. That's what I should have done ages ago. Or let's first ask for military access and then I'll cancel theirs. Get off my land. Had enough of you. Bye-bye. Damn it, I should have done that. No. I keep fighting on my land. It keeps damaging my infrastructure. Go find someone else to mess with. Occitania as well? Nope. Get off my land. Who else is in the North American Alliance who probably has military access? I'll ask for Swedish military access. Just not offering it. Ooh, I can do an NAP with Finland? Sure. Let's grab docking rights to Caledonia, because that's actually really valuable. And then military access. Same here, because they might cancel these military access later. In the docking rights while I can. Oh yeah, I thought Finland would end up at war with the Sapimi, but the Sapimi just conceded all this land to them peacefully. I guess they didn't want war. They knew they couldn't possibly win. No. Should grab what I can with the members of docking rights. This will enable me to project my fleet far and wide across the world. Vacuum the People's Republic of China. Sometimes they can be recreated as a little puppet. Somebody conquers part of China. Queen China, docking rights. Danish ships can now sail around the world thanks to all the countries they've granted me. In the form of... Oh, Greece. Docking rights in Greece. For sure. Keeping it interesting. Docking rights in Iceland. Might eventually enable me to reach Greenland. And Canada. Mosquito Kingdom? Right. Wait. Argentina is going communist? Oh, that's just too funny. That could actually cause some instability in Latin America. There's those guys went fascist. Docking rights in Iran. I'll offer Iraq docking rights. I know, not the most interesting stuff, all these docking rights and stuff. Important? Yes. Interesting? No. Also, anything that military access improves relations, which in turn is non-existent. Improved relations gives me improved oh shoot, I didn't want to. I always thought that was Karelia. That's Finland. Improved trade relations enables me to buy more resources. Yeah, the Finnish, they try and move through here, they'll fight on my territory, so I need to revoke that. That was an accident. Poland, there might be a rump state after this is over. You never know what's gonna be around. Docking rights? I mean, no. Who am I giving docking rights to? Iraq? Trade access for CERN. I need the trade influence. I'll get what I can in terms of... The Americans are causing problems. I don't want them to have documents because they may end up repairing their ships in my territory. The military access actually provides relations boosts, access to resources. So military access, yes. Should probably cancel docking rights. That was dumb. Poland. Who else? Mizzou. It's the docking rights. I don't actually want repairing ships from... Alright, Poland asks for military access. Cancel the docking rights. No one's got docking rights at me. Again? Alright, Finland, get off my land. Sign an NIP with you, but get off my land. Doubt Mongolia will ever get any ports, but I'll... Boom. Diplomacy. Diplomacy. probably be a successor Mexican state after this is all over. It'll be democratic, but no more reason to get military access now. We can. Peace. This is just about improving relations. Really? Because of mutual wars. Sign these. France. France. Military access. Lebanon or access to Iran. Right, so if Afghanistan never gets support. Cool, cool, cool. Sometimes certain countries gain military access and others won't, but does Iceland even have an army? Probably not much of one. Probably. Do they have any resources to care about? No, they didn't take the focus direction that lets them get it. Not sure I can even pursue action on communists in the beginning of this game, but it did. Military access. Spain. Military access there. Might exist as a rump state after this. Docking rights to non-existent Swiss ships. Probably safely do landlocked nations. Probably shouldn't bother though. And they can sometimes expand to the coast. Migration pact with Karelia. Commune of Anglia is accepted to deliver weapons. Starlende and war support. Nice. Let's grab military access. There's no relation. I'm just gonna clear up the interface with this docking rights. Switzerland. Offer military access, cancel docking rights. Military access isn't always free. It lets them dock and repair ships, same as docking rights, but it can cause them to get in combat in your land and damage the infrastructure. No free lunches. Docking rights doesn't even give you trade influence, and it just... no reason to do it. Military access to Greece. Let's miss that one. Yeah, let's say no Dane will die in foreign lands. You'll see what that does. Macedonia, no longer neutral. I mean, some wars that may give me an opportunity to sign military access with them. Military access to Iceland, I guess. Not the big boys, though, that, not Sweden, not Finland, not Norway, their militaries mess up my land too much. Oh yeah, Poland. Sure, Polish licenses. Certain national spirits, it can be that you can actually produce license equipment quicker than your own, sometimes. I don't think Denmark gets those kind of focuses, though I know Hungary does, actually. For instance. Or is it foreign license focus? They can actually produce foreign equipment faster than their own. Kind of funny. Ah. Military access with Greece and then NAP. Afghanistan has some resources, I think. Yep, chromium. So I'll want good relations with them. Macedonia is going to get occupied. Pompous parades. Interesting. Just semi-rambly, clicking around trying to hit all the... No. No. Keep thinking Karelia, because Karelia's up there. Guinea-Bissau? No. Integration pact with Greece. Province name is even called Portuguese Guinea. Let's see. Indigenous to Mexico.